As we now begin chapter 4, we come to the basic paradigm of the Hebrew noun. This paradigm is illustrated with the form sus, horse. The Hebrew nominal paradigm, the noun paradigm, inflects for both gender, masculine or feminine, and for number, singular, dual, and plural. For gender, it's important to remember, as we mentioned in the last chapter, that masculine and feminine are a grammatical gender, not a biological gender. It is true that grammatical gender will often align and correspond with biological gender, but it need not do so. The traditional example of this is in French, where the noun professeur is treated grammatically as masculine and therefore in French has le as the prefix or the article. When you speak to a female professor in French then, you would address her as Madame le professeur. So even though you use Madame, which is feminine, you use le to indicate the grammatical gender of the noun as masculine. Just remember that though grammatical and biological gender often align, they need not do so. When it comes to number, you are already familiar with the categories of singular, one, or plural, more than one for an adjective. The noun paradigm also has a dual number. The dual indicates two of something. The use of the dual by the time of biblical Hebrew was starting to decline. It is still evident, particularly for things that make natural pairs, like ears or eyes. And its use is still somewhat functional, as we know from the fact that you could have both the form yad for hand or yadayim, the dual for a pair of hands, or the form yadot for many hands. So duals still do exist, and they largely are restrained to very small uses because this is a form that was passing out of use by the time of the Hebrew in the Bible, but you will still find it. The paradigm then goes as follows. Masculine singular begins sus, susa for the feminine singular, susayim for the masculine dual, susatayim for the feminine dual, susim for the masculine plural, and susot for the feminine plural. You will recognize then endings that are already familiar from the adjective paradigm in both the singular and the plural. The ending for the dual is ayim. In the masculine singular form, it is simply appended to the masculine singular form of the noun to make the dual susayim. In the feminine form, the a ending of the feminine singular is removed and then replaced by at. So you have susatayim as the form. The lexical form of a noun, the way you would look it up in a lexicon, is the singular form, whether masculine or feminine. The standard ending for feminine nouns is a comet's hay, a, as in the paradigm. Feminine nouns quite commonly, however, can also end in a tav with a various combination of vowels in advance of that tav, at, et, ut, yat, etc. In most cases, a noun will be either masculine or feminine, and therefore it will only occupy half of the paradigm that you have seen in this section. Sus, which we use for the paradigm, is the exception in the sense that it's easy to conceive of both a male and female horse, a mare or a stallion. Exceptions to the general rule of the ending for the feminine singular do occur. For instance, the land Eretz, The word eretz is land or earth, and it is a feminine singular form, though it is not marked as such by the presence of a hey or a tav ending. Similarly, yad, hand, is a feminine noun in terms of its gender, even though it does not show the presence of a hey or tav at the end. Such nouns, when they are pluralized, usually do show their feminine gender in the plural form. For example, uratzot, lands, with a feminine plural ending ot, or yadot, feminine plural, hand, again with the feminine plural ending ot. In your vocabulary, unless a word is marked otherwise, if it ends in a hey or tav and is a noun, you should consider it feminine. Nouns that end in any other consonant should be considered masculine unless they are marked otherwise. You will also want to note that the addition of the nominal endings to either a noun or an adjective can cause vowel reduction, because the addition of an ending will often add another syllable to a word. For instance, if you begin with the masculine singular zakein, you would think the feminine singular form would be zakeina, but notice there are then 3 syllables, zakein na. The addition of a has caused this 3rd syllable. If this is the tonic syllable, K is the pretonic syllable, and za is now a propretonic syllable, and comets in a propretonic syllable reduces, such that the feminine singular form is zakena, not zakena. Similarly, with the masculine plural and feminine plural endings, zakenim reduces to zakenim, and zakenot reduces to zukenot, with the exact same pattern of propretonic reduction. Similarly, chazak in the masculine singular, strong, with the addition of a feminine singular ending a, becomes a 3-syllable word, cha-za-ka. And again, propretonic reduction will not let the comets in the propretonic syllable exist. Because that comets reduces, you would expect a vocal schwa, but note that the form begins with a guttural letter, so instead of a vocal schwa, we get a compound schwa, chzaka. Similarly, in the masculine plural and feminine plural, the exact same reduction yields chzakim and chzakot for the forms.